Hi, good day. My name is Elil Amaris, and I will be doing the class with you today. And I prefer people don't have their cameras and audios simply because one, it pulls a lot of data or internet if you are on a slow connection or you have any issues with internet. Two, it's distracting. You might find it a bit distracting. Some others might find it distracted. And three, we are recording the class. So for the sake of privacy of some people, um, this recording is uploaded to the Google Classroom for all of the students. So it means that once someone has access to our Google Classroom or as a student, they have access to this recording. So I would have sent you the Google Classroom link when you made the payment. So I just wanted to go through what that is and how you go about using it. Once you click on the link, it would have opened to this or probably the app version of it if you open it on your phone. So you would see here, this is the stream. Wait, sorry. I forgot. I'm not sure. I'm not sharing my screen. Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah, you're not sharing.
Right. You're seeing it, right? Yeah?
Yes.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So here you will see this is the stream. The stream is where the notifications come in. Here you would see where I posted things. You will get an email as well. So here is the classroom. And when you scroll all the way down, basically, this is where we're gonna start. You would see resources. I uploaded the objectives or course outline. So when you registered for the course or showed interest in the course, I would have sent you the course outline so that you would have seen what it is that we were covering. So I have the presentation open, but this is the versions of the presentation, like what is herbalism, apothecary materials, materia medica, herbal monograph, and the difference between the two as Word documents. So you could simply click on it. You click on the material, um, view it. And if you click on it, it would open. And then you can choose how you want to open it. If you want to download it, if you want to save it as a PDF, I know it's easier for some people to print and make notes with the Google Docs option. You open it in Word document and you're able to edit it accordingly. So basically, this is what you would say is the class notes. I would prefer it's a short session, 2 hours. So most of the time I would prefer if it is that you just now 1 second, Sophia. I would prefer that you listen and you ask questions because you have access to this material afterwards. Okay, yes, Sophia, you could go ahead and I see you raise your hand.
Yes, I do not have some of the material. For example, this that you have on your screen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that in Google Classroom. I have from when you would have sent the medical astrology YouTube links.
Mm-hmm.
I have that. And then I have the Rachel Bernard's homemade apple cider vinegar and the quiz. That's all I have for today's class.
So you're not seeing all of this when you click
So
on the
I'm not.
Google Doc? I mean on the group on the what and I'm sorry, the Google Classroom.
No, so I'm in, let me check classwork.
Yeah, you have to check classwork because everything is separated accordingly. So one of the things that's different from this class
Right.
and
So
last,
classwork, I'm seeing yeah, what I'm seeing is, I'm not sure if you recalled, you would have shared with me session two,
right?
links and information. That's what I'm seeing, like the honey
Okay, this is
mixtures, the
session one,
tinctures, the herbal oil
right? So
infusion.
this is session two,
Yeah, so that's
right? This is session two, so people who did session two or pay for session two would have had access. Now, this is session one, and even if I
Yeah,
didn't send
today.
it to you individually, I sent it in the group this morning, with the Google Classroom link.
Okay. I'm
So
not
if you,
sure why
yeah,
isn't it showing.
uh, so if you check it, I
I'm
sent,
refreshing.
no problem. Okay,
Yeah.
so
But go
the
ahead, yeah.
you can
I'll
always troubleshoot it
find it
afterwards.
later. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So these are the documents. This is what they would look like when you open it. So I have a recommended reading list. These are Caribbean authors or books that is specific to the Caribbean, as you would see. If you can't access it, there is the herbarium in UE, or you can probably try the library. I know our UE library or some other source, but I'm not sure of like how to get it in the bookstores. It's I haven't seen a lot of them in the bookstores actually. So I'm not sure if you have to like buy it online or request it specifically from bookstores. I know independent booksellers may bring it down for you, or if you want to buy it and bring it down, that's absolutely fine as well. So this is the documents that you should be able to open and make your notes. So as much as possible, I try to be as detailed as possible, because I will not be able to go into much details outside of the PDF. I'm mean the PDF, the PowerPoint presentation. So I try to give templates, recipes, ingredients, images, everything, examples, so that when you go through it, it's like a textbook and you have it, you can make notes and whatnot, right? So okay, so let me start the presentation. I can't remember if I uploaded it to the Google Classroom, but I will do it at the end of today's session. Hold on 1 second, please. Okay, so this is basically the course outline. This is the objectives of the class and what we will be doing today. Okay, so what is herbalism? Basically, it is using plants or any part of the plants to be preventative in how we treat illnesses, or even while we are sick, and for people who have chronic. So chronic means it's something that is lifelong. So if you have chronic ailments, herbal medicine is usually better to use than modern day medicine in terms of long-term treatment, simply because of how our body reacts with modern day medicine, and it puts a strain on our liver and our other organs like kidneys and so forth. And there's also a lot of side effects that are undesirable. So a lot of time people usually look for herbal medicine as a treatment. So there's a lot of herbal shops in Trinidad. You go in, you can get the herbs. Some people usually have premix packages where they have things for women's health, men's health, for your brain. So this service is available, but this class is just for a beginner level, learning it and how to apply it to yourself and your family. It is not accredited, so we will cover that in a moment, talking about certification and accreditation, because it is something that cannot be done. Now, every cultural community has their own version of herbal medicine. Oftentimes, when cultures mix, usually you would find people using both, or people using one or the other, depending on what is their preference or what works for them. So I mentioned here Ayurveda. So that came from India. We have traditional Chinese medicine, which is from China. So Native American will be like the first people that occupied Americas, which has become, we know, the Caribs and the Arawaks. And then European herbalism. So usually European herbalism is considered like Western medicine because, Eastern medicine is Ayurveda and Chinese. So when you look at the map, you'll see that it's called Western medicine because of where it is on, it's west of, the Asian continent. Okay, so one thing I want to mention is that because we are a diaspora, we all have mixed ancestry, and very rare unless you're a first generation immigrant, it's very rare that you might be like pure Indian or pure African or pure Chinese. And more than likely, somebody you might have been mixed. There are people who have relations and they don't know their kids or they don't know, anything. So children usually have mixed heritage. And one of the things that play a key role in how treatment is administered is knowing what your heritage is. Because I study genetics, and one of the points of it is that based on the genes that you inherited from your forefathers, it would mean that you either have a dominant gene or recessive gene that will either be able to be more susceptible to certain diseases. It may give you more resistance to certain diseases. So, for example, Korean and Chinese people don't really hold their alcohol as well as Indian people would. So, that's just traits that would be different, and some might work in your favor, some might not work in your favor. And oftentimes, there's a lot of health issues as well that is associated with specific ethnic demographics, which means that if it is that you're using something from your Indian ancestry and you find there is no fix, you're not getting any results, then maybe you have to try something that is of your Chinese ancestry and maybe that would work. So that is why, I brought this, I highlighted this information because it's very important as well. And it's often an overlooked component of when doctors treat you because oftentimes they would try to treat the symptoms and not exactly the individual. And clinical herbalists are able to do just that, treat the individual, because the questions that they ask at intake, the research that they do on the individual person, whether it's from Ayurvedic or traditional Chinese medicine, it is a very highly gate kept practice simply because of how much work that is getting done, and you don't want somebody to have a misdiagnosis or have a misstep. So oftentimes people don't just give out, the treatment that they have. And even if it is that you do a traditional Chinese medicine course outside of China or outside of an institute that offers it, it is very oftentimes very basic, just an overview and mostly similar things to this class, just for yourself, how to identify it on yourself, but they won't tell you like how to treat it and these kinds of things because you don't want somebody to do a misdiagnosis or try something on your friend and say, hey, let me check something, and then you tell them something and it's not liked, it's not right, and then it happens that there's errors and things happen. Okay, so Sophia, I'm not seeing your message. Great. So, right here. So the key aspect of herbal medicine is what I mentioned just now, the plant-based treatment. Now, holistic meaning, holistic comes from the word whole. So holistic means that you're trying to take the approach of a whole. So think of it as a pie or a pizza that has all these different sections, and herbal medicine is one section of this holistic approach. There's health and there's nutrition and dietitian, there is crystals, there is massage therapy, aromatherapy. There's a lot of different components that make up this pizza. And herbal medicine is just one section of this when it comes to treating a person. So it's not like, this is why they say that it is a very personalized option for people who need it, especially long term. When I mentioned chronic illnesses, and they need it, like if you get diagnosed really young, you need it for the rest of your life. And this is something that people can take into consideration. Now, one of the things is that preventative and curative. So preventative is that if you know that your parents have had diabetes, your both side of the family have diabetes, it means that you should take the initiative to now get yourself tested. What is your A1C level like? What is your random blood sugar like? You go to the doctor and say, "Hey, my family is predisposed to diabetes. What can I do to manage my diabetes, or what can I do to see if it is that I would become diabetic, or what is my lifestyle like?" Okay, so the meeting is gonna end in 10 minutes, so y'all could just jump back in, just sign back in, right? So that's where preventative comes in. So you can now change your lifestyle, change your diet, and usually the doctor will not recommend this to you, unfortunately. So oftentimes you may have to go to a dietitian or a nutritionist for them to outline a meal plan, or you have a personal trainer to do an exercise plan. And when you choose a personal trainer for the gym, or if it is that you're doing home workouts, again, this is something that has to be done person specific. So if it is that the person is very sketchy, please don't work with them. Right. So next thing we have, the last point in this one, is natural and synergistic. So it means that plants would work together to give an either enhance overall effect, or work together in tandem to do what it needs to do. So for example, black peppercorns or black pepper by itself has its own list of benefits. Turmeric has its own list of benefits. However, they must come together. The curcumin in turmeric is activated by the black pepper compound. So they go together. Oftentimes they go together to make sure that you get the best of that reaction. So here is some common uses of herbal medicine. So here we have digestive issues. Some people have acid reflux, and you don't want to take a Tums, you don't want to take a tablet. You just drink a little bit of tea. So there are different types of teas that you can drink. Not everybody like chamomile. Some people might find it bitter. Some people don't like the taste of mint. And some people don't like ginger. So you have different things. So this introduction class is going to help guide you into how you are going to do research and how you're going to find the information to be able to use it in herbal medicine. So stress and anxiety is a chronic ailment that we do have. And unless we're living this soft, slow life that is stress-free, oftentimes anxiety is overlooked because we get queasy, we get our stomach bubbling, and we don't realize that is anxiety, and that is the start of anxiety. Because the pathway for anxiety is your stomach goes to your brain. So your anxiety actually starts in your stomach first for most people, and it's usually an indicator that you need to relax, you need to calm down, you need to maybe take something that is going to relax you and relax you quickly. Immune support. So oftentimes, we get sick. We take some tea, you drink some fever grass tea, or you drink some turmeric. There's a lot of things that you can have for immune support because you need minerals and vitamins in your system. Women's health and men's health too. but we get more issues with women's health in the healthcare system. So usually women, because their health is usually overlooked, and unfortunately, most women, when they go by the doctor, the first thing they're gonna ask you is, when was your last period and what's your weight like? And they often overlook the issues that is associated with women. And this is an entire topic all by itself because of the intricacies and how much things that are variables in women's health. So what happens is that oftentimes women will go to herbalists. So they will usually be the first set of people that would go out and seek a herbalist, or a service if somebody is selling like fertility tea or tea for PCOS, which is polycystic ovary syndrome, or if endometriosis, or any of those issues, if you have blood stagnation, if you haven't seen your period. And if you haven't seen your period, usually it's linked to stress, and high levels of stress can actually change the hormone composition in your body, allowing you to not see a period for several months. So, there is a lot of things that normal medicine or modern medicine overlooks that herbal medicine can help with. And one of these things is women's health, because women are not like men. Women, we have a 4-week cycle or lunar cycle. It means every week in our month is a totally different hormonal state. And we know these is linked to the menstrual cycle. There's going to be times when you're most productive, where your testosterone is higher, you're going to be most efficient. There's going to be times where your estrogen is most highest, and you're going to be a trigger, and you're going to get angry really quickly. You're going to just be on edge. You feel like the world is attacking you and you want to fight back with such vigor. So all of these things is because a woman is not static. She is dynamic, and it means that she's often changing, and how she reacts and how she, handles life can be supported by different teas, foods that she would eat, because there are types of food that you could eat for each week or each stage of this 4-week cycle that can promote good health. Now, men, it's work, they work on a 24-hour clock, which means that their 24 hours hormonally remains the same every single time. So just like the sun is going to wake up every morning, go through the hours of the day, go to sleep. But with the moon actually goes through phases. So that's why we say men are solar and women are lunar in nature, because oftentimes the moon phases reflect your cycle. So some people might be a new moon cycle, or the first quarter, last quarter, half moon, or full moon, depending. And so by knowing your cycle, you are now able to plan and have a better life. So skin conditions. Skin conditions usually come about because our liver cannot tolerate the toxin levels in our body. And usually the skin is our largest organ. And when you have high toxin levels, what happens is that you get things like eczema, rashes, you get acne, because there's so much toxicity under the skin. And toxicity doesn't need to be poison. It just means that based on what you're eating, your body can't filter out everything through the normal excretion pathway. Which is fecal and urinary. So what happens is that it comes out on your skin, and then you get acne. So a lot of times it's easier to treat it with herbal medicine, because you don't have to keep using herbal medicine all the time. Now, if it is that you do start a course of something that is modern medicine, and for some reason you can't use herbal medicine, and you start something with your doctor, you have to follow through with it, because they would have, make the decisions that is right for you. But if you feel like this is not something that, works, you still need to consult with your doctor and let them know, what it is that's going on with you. So, yeah, some things that is very, very important. And I must make mention of it. So there are lots of people. So let me talk about the safety and interactions first, because there are lots of people who use herbal medicine in everyday life. You know, you just something that you did growing up, something that you got from your grandparents, knowledge that you had, and you know, okay, when I'm sick, I'm gonna take this, or first thing in the morning. Hi, excuse me. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so it's gonna cut off now. And you all can join back in, and then I'll continue when that happens.